of course, going to be taking place for the weekend here for the Dota 2 scene. So, getting right into it, obviously, what it's all about here was the qualifiers. The qualifiers for the Boston Major took place for each of the regions, the 4 regions right here. And in the end, we had 2 teams from each of the qualifiers representing now the regions going on to the main event as a result of how they finished here. So, just quickly going over that here. From the American region, which was one especially I was very interested in, as what the hell is going on here? Oh, it's, you know what? It's the game. Let me go ahead and get out of this game here real quickly. This freaking game causing resolution issues. All right, there we go. Anyways, we had the North American region, of course. Get some Adam family, nice. Team NP, they took out Complexity 2-0 in the winners finals, thus earning them the spot. Watch that series. Complexity, at least I think it was the first game. I mean, they were looking pretty good, and then all of a sudden, you know, made some decisions that just simply weren't the best. And obviously, in the end, they did not qualify through that portion as a result. So they were knocked out of the losers. They had to face an Infamous, who just previously defeated FDL, which was a little bit surprising to some people, I'm sure. FDL going 0-2 and then 0-2, as you see in the brackets right here. But Complexity then took out Infamous 2-1. And again, another just intense series that, of course, went the distance. Complexity, from what I was watching, another case of scares. How fitting for the Halloween weekend right here, I guess. But, man, they made it it seems like they almost made it tough on themselves at times. But they qualified, and that's what matters, obviously. So they took care of business there in the end. So it will be Team NP and Complexity coming from the American regions. As far as the Chinese qualifiers, which actually just wrapped up as a result of this weekend right here. We, of course, had LGD Forever Young going all the way. They're taking care of business. They actually went 7-2 in the group stages, followed by going undefeated in the playoffs right here. They were a lot of fun to watch at the MTL event that I did coverage for at the EG House over there last month or whatever it was. So I'm excited to see them, as well as IG Vitality taking out the main LGD team here, who went 8-1 in the groups, only then to lose to Vitality, in fact, twice, as you see here. They lost in the first round of the semifinals there, and then, of course, got knocked out in the winner or the lowers finals, 2-1 to thus get IG Vitality a spot. So LGD Forever Young. Did they really go Enigma 6 times? Something like that? Jesus. That's pretty awesome. Enigma, not the most popular hero in general, but that's pretty fun to see there. What is this fucking playlist? I chose a random playlist for Halloween music, and dear God, this is like the worst music ever. Let me pull up actually. Yeah, this will be one that I know my wife actually created one. We'll just do Spotify. We'll just go to a random one right here. Here, let's get some classic Thriller up in here. Anyways. So LGD Forever Young and IG Vitality taking the Chinese qualifiers there. For the European qualifiers, Ad Phenom going 2-0 in both the semifinals as well as the winter finals to take their spot going to Boston. Ad Phenom, a great thing about this team, they happen to be a Greek team. I happen to be half Greek, so they're kind of one of these teams that I'm kind of rooting for on the side. They barely squeaked through in the round-robin format. It came down to, I believe, one of the last matches there. They did finish 6-3, though, and ultimately claim their spot. And good thing they did, obviously, as we see once again. They qualified. Virtus Pro, the other team, as they took out Liquid 2-1. They initially lost to Liquid 2-0, as you see there in the semifinals, but then came from behind to defeat them 2-1 in the losers bracket finals, and thus earning them their spot. So Virtus Pro and Ad Phenom. Yeah, Escape Gaming and Alliance both doing pretty poorly in the round robin. That was, for me, a little bit shocking, I gotta say. I really expected Escape to be, honestly, one of the favorites, especially to make top 4. I was really expecting them to at least make top 4, but they had a poor performance, as did Alliance. And yeah, as people are pointing out as well, this will be the first major where there's no Alliance and no Na'Vi as a result of how they finished here. Na'Vi, in fact, there's rumors getting into that, actually. Apparently there's rumors that Na'Vi is going to be disbanding here. They've been going through some issues, or at least they're going to be changing some roster. I don't know exactly what 100% is going on, but it was just announced today that Ad Phenom is actually replacing them in the Dream League. that's currently going on. And, you know, when that happens, and especially with their performance in these qualifiers, that something's up. Something's clearly up. So I'm expecting to get some announcement about that here throughout this week, I'm sure, from Na'Vi. But that's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, that whole situation, whether or not they kind of pick up another team or just form a new roster. But they clearly are not in the greatest of spots. And then we have the Southeast Asian qualifiers. Now, Team Faceless, holy shit, does this team look fucking good. There's no other way to put it. They went 8-0 in the round-robin stage, and then they went undefeated in the playoffs as well. They literally went on a 12-game winning streak. They went 12-0 throughout the Southeast Asian qualifiers to claim their spot. Black is, of course, a player that, specifically for me, that I'm really excited about for this team. He is a former old-school Han player. I've actually kept in touch with him over the years. Every now and then he's hit me up, and, we've kept in touch. And, he's one of these guys where when I finally announced that I'm coming to the Dota TC, and he messaged me and made a point. He's excited that I'm finally making my journey and everything. So he's just genuinely a really good guy. So I'm so excited to see him doing so well with this team, Team Faceless here. Ice, obviously another player that's very recognized and considered to be an entertaining and both great player at that. So this team, though, you look at the full roster, XY Nuts and Japs all got history in Dota 2. It's not really a surprise when you look at it from that perspective that they did so well. But at the same time, again, this is somewhat of a newly formed team right here. But they went undefeated. This is going to be a team that no doubt is going to make a splash at the actual main event. I mean, this is one of the qualified teams that I think is going to be able to hold up against the invited teams, no doubt. The other team to qualify, as we see here, WG Unity. They actually took out Fnatic in the losers round 1. Then they went on to defeat Mineski, who actually, as you see there, got knocked down by Faceless in the first place. But then WG Unity had quite the run. They went 5-3 in the groups, not necessarily the prettiest run there, but then they had the run here in the playoffs, which is what matters, and they claimed the other spot. Who's exactly on that roster right here? They were one of the open qualifiers. They were the first open qualifier team, as you see here. Nana King, Afu, I honestly don't recognize, not that they're saying much. Looks like they have 45,000 in total earnings so far. So I guess a fairly respectable team right here, but I don't necessarily think that they were one of the favorites. I know Mineski and Fnatic were no doubt going to be some of the favorites here from the Southeast Asian region to also join Faceless. So congrats to WG Unity, Warriors Gaming Unity, on making it in. But other than that, that's pretty much what took place over the weekend. Again, that pretty much covered the remaining of last week as well as into the weekend. I did my own qualifying coverage of the open qualifiers. At least I had a lot of fun with that. And, a little bit of the regionals on top of that. I actually cast a little bit of that